So it's actually smart business, I guess. I think it's kind of like bad business ethics, especially if you have a good product to stand behind, but it's what she does, so it's just my opinion.
Ain't shady, baby, I'm hot like the prodigal son.
Purchased or pass? So today we're doing my September installment of Purchase or Pass, and this is actually going to be an anti-haul edition. There's holiday stuff coming out, there's still stuff I feel like left over from this summer coming out. I try to keep it positive usually, like a little bit of purchase, a little bit of pass, but I really think this month we needed an anti-haul edition. Let me pull up my pictures really quick. I usually go on TrendMood and kind of see, I think that's the best place to go for an assortment of like what's coming out, what's being released, kind of get an idea of if people are feeling the same as you are about everything. Because it's a community of people that really like makeup and like to talk about makeup. I'm gonna try to keep it short. Usually I go a little bit more in depth into each one, but because of the fact that we have a lot to talk about, I'm gonna try to keep it brief. I'm gonna scoot over a little bit here. That way I can put pictures over here. Why are my glasses dirty? So if I'm looking down, it's because I'm studying the picture. Here we go. Oh my God, there's more stuff out that I didn't even, like it's 21 new posts today? 21 new posts on TrendMood? That's bananas. Let's start with a ColourPop Animal Print Collection Super Shock Highlighting Palette. So baby, if you want me, you've got to show me love. Oh, here it is. It's ColourPop, you know, it's not groundbreaking, it's cute, it's cheap, whatever. But this highlighter palette, it's the Super Shock Highlighting Palette, and there's 4 pans in here. And, you know, I appreciate ColourPop for what they are. You know, they give you decent makeup for a good price, but these highlighters to me are crazy. I don't know when, and I feel like it's been within the past year that the trend went from highlighters being something that was kind of like subtle and glowing to something that was really pigmented and really like almost a statement on your face. These highlighters, when swatched, they look so pigmented, they look like eyeshadows. Like I would wear them as eyeshadows, but I can't imagine wearing them as a highlighter just because they're so pigmented and striking and dramatic, and it's pretty. But when did highlighters go from being something really subtle and glowing like on your cheekbone to being this whole other, I guess, like shiny blush is what it feels like to me. It feels like shiny blush. I did mention that on TrendMood, and somebody said, you know, the Super Shock highlighters from ColourPop are my favorite. They're beautiful and smooth and creamy, and I was like, well, maybe I'll try one, but not these new colors just because I don't know, they're so pigmented. Not for me. Okay, next we're gonna move on to the Becca Cosmetics Volcano Goddess Eyeshadow Plus Eyeliner in Obsidian. So it's basically a little pot with black eyeshadow that can also be used as eyeliner and whatever. I mean, I just always thought we wanted our eyes to look bigger, right? Don't you want your eyes to look bigger? I stay away from dark black eyeshadows like that because first of all, not everyone can pull off a dark black smoky eye. I'm one of them. I can't. I have these tiny little eyes. They like disappear when I smile. They disappear when I smile. So can you imagine my tiny little eyes and add on to that like this dark black eyeshadow? I do think dark colors tend to make your eyes smaller, and I want to kind of make my eyes look bigger instead of smaller. You want your eyes to look big, you want them to kind of be highlighted, not, you know, pushed back into your face, and that's what darkness does. That's why we contour with bronzer to make it seem like there's a hollow there, and we highlight with highlighter because it's light and that brings it out. So I don't want my eyes to look sunken into my head. I can't pull off a black smoky eye. This is a pass for me. Oh, next, the Museum of Ice Cream times Sephora collection. I just laughed more at every picture of this. If you've seen any of my anti-hauls or purchase or pass videos before, you know how I feel about childish gimmicky makeup. That's why I don't purchase from Tarte. I always talk shit about Tarte and like their unicorns and rainbow collections and mermaids and all that stuff that I don't feel like as a woman in my 30s I would ever want or use or wear. But this is just taking it to, it's a whole new level. First of all, why are they releasing a summery ice cream themed kind of collection in September? Like, if this was going to come out, it should have come out in July or June, and it would have made more sense in that context. It still would have been stupid and it still would have looked childish, but it would have made more sense in that context in a summer month. But you're talking, we're in the middle of September at this point, so we're thinking about fall makeup now. The eyeshadow palette's all like pale pinks and sky blues, and it's a palette shaped like a creamsicle. The makeup brushes have clear plastic handles with sprinkles in them. The lip glosses are shaped like creamsicles. They have something called rainbow sherbet lashes, and it's so funny. It's not sherbet, it's sherbet. There's no R in there. My husband always gets on my case because they call it sherbet, and he's like, well, it's sherbet, it's sherbet. So there's the rainbow sherbet lashes. They're $18, but they're literally, they look like multicolored, like pastel feathers for your eyelashes. This would all still be horrendous in the middle of summer, don't get me wrong, but on the cusp of fall, it's offensive. It's like, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Why did you even bother? Why didn't you hold back? Wait till next summer and then release this and see what happened. And there's a charm bracelet that's included as well. Well, it's not included, you have to pay extra for it, because why not? It's got these like chunky plastic charms, teddy bear, creamsicle, a rainbow, a ring pop, a donut on this gold chain that I can just see turning wrists green all around the country. I mean, it's kind of cute for kids, I guess. Like, I don't even know, I don't even think someone in high school would think this was cute or wear it. I guess you'd have to pull the high schoolers, but I complain about Tarte producing kids makeup, but this is like worse. Whenever something looks like juvenile in the comments on TrendMood, people are usually like, this looks like Claire's makeup, and I don't always agree. But this looks like Claire's makeup. This looks like straight up, you could walk into a Claire's, pay $3.99 for this creamsicle eyeshadow palette, and walk out, go home, put it on your plastic vanity, and just be happy about it. Until you see the price that they're actually charging, and then you're like, what? The charm bracelet doesn't come with the collection. It's not a free gift. They're sold separately for $28. The eyeshadow palette is $42. It's way too cheap and plastic and preteen looking for me to ever seriously consider purchasing it, even if the products were good, which they can't be that good. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure there's adult women out there who like this kind of like nostalgic, like bringing back your childhood thing. They're the ones buying like the mermaid palettes and the make-believe lipsticks with like little gold stars hanging off of it. That's not my aesthetic. In the comments on TrendMood, people were like, this is awesome. I love this. This is so cute. I want all of it. And I was like, am I crazy? Because sometimes everybody feels the exact same way as me, and I'm like, oh good, I'm not crazy. And then sometimes I don't feel the same way as anybody, and I'm like, am I seeing this differently? Am I like out of the loop? I don't like it, guys. It's an ice cream collection in September. It's hideous. Moving on. Natasha Denona Safari palettes. I feel like there's a trend in my anti-hauls, and I'm usually talking about the same brands that I'm anti-hauling. Natasha Denona is one of them. I just find her makeup too overpriced. I find it way too expensive. I would never, and it's not like, and I was very clear with this about somebody who was like, well, if you can't afford to buy it, then don't buy it. It's not that I can't afford to buy it. I could afford to buy it, but I don't think it's smart to spend that much money on one eyeshadow palette when you can buy 5 or 6 for the same, or you could buy like, I don't know, groceries, or you could make a car payment. Like, the smartest people who have the most money are the ones that save their money and don't spend it on stupid shit. And Natasha Denona, I guess she makes good eyeshadows, whatever. I will never try them. Lots of people make good eyeshadows for not that much. It's both the price and the palette this time. Usually she'll come out with something that I'm like, oh, I really like this eyeshadow palette, but I won't buy it because of what it costs. But this is the palette as well. It's called the Safari palette, so I expected it to have at least like some greens in it. Like some greens. 2, 3, 4, 1 green, that's all. That's all there is in there. 1 green. I'm not asking for every shade to be green, but maybe like 3, maybe even 2, but 1? Come on, it's a Safari palette. I see Safari, I see like those little like green khaki Safari outfits that you wear, and green. I wanted green. But there are a bunch of these shades that I think are way too dark. There's like 5 or 6 of them that are way too dark, and then some basic, you know, base shades, a bunch of them. So I don't understand that. And it's so boring and basic and blah. Ugh, like the 3 B's. Boring, basic, blah. I get the point, right? Safari, so let's throw in some browns, let's throw in some oranges, a random purple, some blues. I guess these are the colors you see on Safari. I don't know. Apparently Natasha Denona Safari was really lacking the rain though, because there's no green in there. Plus, the palette's $129. Why am I gonna pay $129 for boring, basic, and blah? Why? So next, I'm going to change it up and we're going to put a little positive spin in here. We got the Huda Beauty Precious Stones Obsessions. I don't like Huda Beauty in general, and it's nothing to do with her makeup. It mostly is to do with like her personally. And I usually anti-haul her, but I can't, not with this. So she's released 5 of the mini eyeshadow palettes that are all themed around like different precious stones. So each palette has 9 shades, all in the same color story and theme, which I really love. It makes for a really organized and cohesive looking palette and color story. I love every single one of them. I obviously can't buy every single one of them, but without a doubt, I'm getting the green one. I always say green's underrepresented in makeup palettes. I never see, like usually there's some weird like army green or khaki green or some green maybe shade that might be yellow too though. There's never really a good amount of greens in a palette, and this is a palette of all greens, so I'm getting it. I can't wait. It's not even that expensive. They're only 27 bucks a piece, and I know they're small, but it's 9 shades. You don't need a lot of product. Usually they just expire anyways if you don't use them after a certain amount of time, so I'm gonna pay $27 for a palette of 9 green shades that are killer looking, and she does have good formulations typically in her palette, so hopefully this will be one of the good ones and not one of the bad ones, like the rose gold palette that had to be remastered. It's pretty evenly split between the mattes and the shimmers, 5 shimmers to 4 mattes in this one. The colors are gorgeous. This will be my first purchase from her. Like I did try some of her eyeshadow palettes, but I didn't purchase them. And I do think that like I said, some of them are good and some of them have some issues with formula, so hopefully this will be a good one. I think it will. So I'm going to get it, and I'm gonna get it as soon as it comes out. And let me know if you wanna see a review on it or an eye look or something. Okay, moving on. Kat Von D, the Fetish eyeshadow palette. So, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Kat Von D anymore, and it's not about the vaccination thing. I mean, it was initially. And now it's about how she handled the whole vaccination thing and how she handled like the outcry from the public. I think it was terrible and not professional. So not a big fan of her, but even if I was, I wouldn't buy this. I'm a really big fan of standard shape eyeshadow palettes. I don't like when they go all crazy different shapes and, you know, creamsicles and whatever. Sometimes they're hard to use, sometimes the lid doesn't flip back, it's awkward. I don't like it. I think standard shape eyeshadow palettes are easier to store, they're easy to use, they make the most sense like when you're in there using them. So this is shaped, I guess from the outside it doesn't look too bad, it's just like an oval shaped palette, but inside the way the pans are set up makes me anxious and makes me like really, I don't like it. It reminds me of like one of those fish posters that are hanging up like in a dentist office or something. It's supposed to be like artistic or it's a painting, or like when your kid brings home like a picture of a fish that they finger painted at school, so like the teacher drew the shape of the fish and then the kid like just took all different color paints and put them wherever. That's what it reminds me of when I look inside of it. The pans are like long and narrow too, which I hate. I hate that. It's so hard to like get a fluffy brush in without getting all over the place. I just think it's awkward and would be difficult to use, and nothing about the colors or the shades or anything interests me, so it's a pass. The Urban Decay Elements palette, same goes for the Urban Decay Elements palette. I don't like the way it's shaped. I think they hopped on the Zodiac theme a little late. In this business, the trends come and go like much more quickly than you even think. So by the time you've released your Zodiac palette, like the Zodiac thing has passed, like it's gone. I don't like the way the palette's shaped, although I think it would look pretty like displayed. I feel like it would be hard to store. Storing it would be annoying, and I feel like it would be really awkward to use. Like the Fetish palette, the colors, it's nothing we haven't seen from Urban Decay before. If you took like the Born to Run, the Aphrodisiac, and the Distortion palette, and you put all 3 of those together, you would have the Elements palette. All those colors in those 3 palettes can be found in this palette. So they didn't do anything new. I feel like they just were like, let's put something out because everybody likes Zodiac stuff right now. So let's throw some of our old shades into a Zodiac shaped eyeshadow palette, and it's gonna sell, guys. We're excited. The Too Faced Gingerbread Spice palette is next. So I love Too Faced. This palette looks really pretty, even though it makes me anxious to see like a Christmas gingerbread palette in the middle of September when I'm still trying to think about like how many, you know, fall leaves can I wrap around my banister. There's a lot of beautiful warm tones and shimmers in here that would carry you through the fall and winter, but I cannot imagine pulling out this big ass gingerbread palette in like the spring or the summer. It would feel weird. Am I off? I feel like it would be weird. I wish they'd done this palette with like a less literal packaging, you know, something to do with like spice or gingerbread or spice, cinnamon, pumpkin spice. I don't know. I wish they'd done it in less literal packaging. And what kind of packaging, you ask? I don't know. I don't get paid to figure that out. That's what Too Faced pays their creative team for. So I don't know, like a brownish, I don't know. But I will not use a gingerbread palette in the middle of summer. If I didn't have a ton of eyeshadows already, I might buy it just because I like the shadows. I have so many makeup eyeshadow palettes. I can't buy another one unless I absolutely love it and I can't live without it, and this just isn't it. But I bet it's beautiful. The Tarte Pineapple My Eye Collector Set. Oh, this is what Tarte does, guys. Like stuff that doesn't make sense and is stupid. This is an eye and cheek palette. Tarte's notorious for doing these combo eye and cheek palettes. I don't like them. I feel like it would be easier to travel with an eye and cheek palette, you know, like less to bring, but it's shaped like a huge gold pineapple. Like that's not gonna be easy to travel with. And why is it shaped like a pineapple? Why? What is the driving force behind the Pineapple My Eye collection? Like, what is the inspiration? Where did it come from? What were you thinking of, like, getting across to people when you said, let's make a pineapple collection? This palette can go literally hang out with Kylie's Go Bananas collection and be irrelevant and confusing together because they don't make sense. Oh, I think the palette's ugly. It's a pineapple and it's gold. I couldn't find, like, it was so hard to find a picture of the closed palette. Like, everybody had pictures of the open palettes. And I was like, why can I not find a picture of the closed palette? Because it's so ugly. Like, I finally did find one. I had to, like, screenshot a video on Tarte's website, which was crazy because there's no pictures that I could find. And it's just ugly. It's a gold pineapple. It's just huge and gold, and that's it. There's nothing special or pretty or eye-catching about it, so I guess no one wanted to take a picture of it because it's gaudy and ugly and confusing. I just don't want it, any part of it. I'm not even gonna get into the inside of the palette because the shades are stupid and ugly too. So let's move on. The Kevyn Aucoin Nude Pop Eyeshadow Palette. Now this is really, really pretty. A lot of commenters on TrendMood said that this is what the Norvina palette wanted to be, and I don't think that's fair because the Norvina palette was exactly what I wanted to be. Norvina created the palette in like the shades that she wears most often and the shades she likes wearing. So because the palette was purple on the outside and Norvina's hair is purple, I think there was some sort of false like impression that the palette was gonna be a purple palette, but no one ever said it was going to be a purple palette. It was never advertised that way. It just kind of like gained a reputation for that's what it was going to be. So I think the Norvina palette's beautiful. I love using it and it is exactly what I think it wanted to be. But this, oh, it's so pretty. This is gonna look beautiful for the holiday season. The mattes really look beautiful, but the shimmers are gorgeous. And if the formulation's similar to other Kevyn Aucoin palettes, then it's gonna look great on the eyes. I bet they swatch beautiful too. So this I might actually consider purchasing, we'll see. But I just wanna tell you guys, it's gorgeous and I really like Kevyn Aucoin, I'm a big fan. Okay, next, Kylie Cosmetics Magnetic Palette and Eye Singles. It's an anti-haul, guys, so we can't get away without talking about Kylie Cosmetics. We gotta throw good old Kylie in here. So she has come out with a large magnetic palette and then 28 magnetic single eyeshadows. And they're $7 each. That's not a bad price at all. Like, I think that's a good price. So I'm not mad, but do I need this? Do I need this? Do you need this? Does anyone need this? On the bright side, Kylie's gonna be selling her products at Ulta now, which I think is bad for her, but good for everybody who's ever wanted to try her products but didn't want to be stuck in her horrendous return policy. And when I say horrendous return policy, I mean no return policy. Kylie Cosmetics, if you didn't know, has no return policy on her website. Like, if you get something and you don't like it, you can't return it, and Ulta is obviously so much better with that. I am not going to try any of her eyeshadows just because I think that they're garbage. I don't think they're good formulation. I think it's overpriced ColourPop. But I might take the opportunity of her being sold at Ulta to try some of her lip kits because I have been interested in those, but I just haven't wanted to like go and have to order them and then have them suck or show up empty or any of the other crazy things that happen when she sends her makeup out. But Kylie selling at Ulta is also a sign to me that her company is now doing as well as she likes to kind of present that it is. You might think like, oh, she's branching out, she's selling in all different places, like that's a good sign, but it's actually really not. It's not a good sign. It's a sign to me, and this is just my opinion, that she needs to reach a broader audience. Now, everybody's always like, her stuff's always sold out, she's making billions of dollars, she's on Forbes, blah, blah, blah. Her stuff always sells out because I believe that she releases it in such small quantities so that it looks like it sells out and it builds a fake demand and supply kind of like crazy cycle. So if you create a high demand for something and then you create a low supply, that supply can't meet the demand. So then what happens is there becomes more of a demand because now people are thinking, oh wow, like that all sold out, it must be good. So it's actually smart business, I guess. I think it's kind of like bad business ethics, especially if you have a good product to stand behind, but it's what she does, so it's just my opinion. So I think this is actually gonna hurt her company because now you're gonna have her products available to a wider range of an audience. And you're gonna see people returning her stuff because it's not good. Buying her stuff, finding out it's not good, and kind of spreading that word because it's not all good. Like, it's really not. You see a lot of influencers on YouTube and whatever saying like, this stuff's great, this is great. They get paid to say that. They get sent product for free to say that it's good, and they don't want to stop getting sent product for free, and they don't want to lose that, you know, PR list in. If you ask the average person, Kylie Cosmetics isn't that good. That's it for me today. I mean, I think that we got this done quick. Like, we talked about 11 things, but we got it in. Anything else I wanted to say? Oh yeah, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to, if you want me to do a part 2 of this and see all the other stuff that I wanted to talk about but didn't think I would have time today to talk about, let me know in the comments. Subscribe so you can see more of my videos, and like so that I know you're here with me. All right, guys, it was awesome talking with you today. I love anti-hauls, and I hope you do too. Stay kind and stay beautiful. Have a great day. Mwah. Bye.